All right, guys, Marvel Strike Force right now is probably in one of the worst positions it's been in quite some time here. So I actually wanted to provide some constructive feedback and talk about the top 5 changes that I think MSF could make to actually improve their game and earn some goodwill here with their community and their player base. So we're going to be going through that here in this video. Always, as usual, want to hear what your thoughts are. What do you think that Marvel Strike Force could improve to actually improve the quality of their game right now as it stands? So we're actually going to jump right on into it. The first thing for me that I think that they should change or should just not do again would be this apocalypse thing, right? Like last year, this sounded really, really cute. And a lot of us were really excited for it. We're getting horseman characters. We're getting apocalypse. Oh my goodness, like we're so excited. But now it's January. We still have not gotten, a lot of people have not gotten apocalypse yet. It's a year later. And I just don't think that this is something that they should do again. And it's for a few different reasons. Number one, it's created no flexibility on our rosters again. Yes, there have always been moments where we've had to build specific characters for specific things, right? Like the old legendary system, the Doom raids. We've always had that. But now with us having to get Apocalypse, you've had to build out 4 specific legendary horseman teams. So everybody's going to have those same 4 legendary horseman teams. Only differential is going to be stars and red stars. We've also had to build out these specific Scourge teams in order to be able to get these, to be able to do the Scourge events if you're pushing for higher nodes, node 5, node 10, right? So it's just not been fun for a lot of players. And that's one of the things that I think that they should not do again. It's just pigeonholed a lot of players into have to build out the same things over and over again and really not having the flexibility on their rosters. And they're kind of doubling and quadrupling or tripling and quadrupling down with other game modes too, like Cosmic Crucible, where now if you're looking at the new season, you got to build your Wakandas if you haven't built them already and throw them in room 6. You're gonna have to build your Masters of Evil team and throw them, and because you're gonna have some global buffs there. So in my opinion, once again, this is something that they should not do for the reason that I just mentioned. The second thing I want to talk about here is character farmability. They have done some good things here as it pertains to character farmability, like some of these hard difficulty heroes nodes. Yes, Spider-Woman is now farmable. Yes, Madeline Pryor is now farmable. Wong is now farmable. And a couple other characters that are farmable as well. But they're still behind on the characters that need to be farmable in Marvel Strike Force. And I've said this multiple times. Release a character farmability cadence, right? Make it something that is, and I do get it that there needs to be some characters that are exclusive. I understand that. But also, I don't think it would be a terrible thing if you also just said, this character is going to be exclusive, so it's going to take a long time for them to become farmable. But there's characters that, to me, at this point, don't make sense why they're not farmable. Agatha. There's characters on the Bionic Avengers team, the Hero Asgardians. A lot of those characters aren't farmable. They need to come up with a character cadence to make sure that players are able to get characters if they miss them for a particular event, right? If you hadn't gotten Agatha from a previous event, have you still gotten Agatha now? Like there needs to be some sort of a cadence. Character gets released and offers. Character event happens 2 months after that. Character becomes farmable. There needs to be some sort of cadence to make sure, because it's a hero collector game, and if players can't reliably collect heroes that are important, then that kind of deters them from playing the game continuously, right? All right, next thing on the list for me here is there needs to be better character events. This character event right now for Captain Carter is absolutely atrocious. These orbs that you have for this event, you can open up 20 of these orbs, right, and not get any character shard drops for Captain Carter. But this is just one event, but there's been other events that have been pretty bad. The Hope Buster event where you could blitz your mind out but still not get character shards. Same thing with Agatha. You had to blitz really heavily in order to be able to get character shards for her. In general, any event that requires more than 2 blitzes, 3 blitz rotations a day, I don't like, because blitzing is really kind of a game mode that should be obsolete and gone by now. Nobody enjoys doing it. Also, when you double down on these sort of heavy resource events like power cores, like gold, and you do them back to back to back, it really kind of is very taxing on a lot of players and their resources. I think that this is something that they definitely should get rid of as well, in my personal opinion. At least not doing the back-to-backs, but then also make character events a little bit more free-to-play friendly, a little bit more beginner play friendly. And you may say, well, beginner players shouldn't be able to get what I'm able to get. No. They can do it in a way where beginner players can get a good chunk of stuff. And then, of course, end game players can get more things, right? There's ways for them to be able to do that. I think it's at the time now where they need to have characters at least 4 stars, bare minimum, for an unlock for an end game player. I think that should be what they're going for here, but they're kind of going backwards. And like going back to the beginner thing, if beginner players aren't getting enough of things to start off with, they're not going to stick around for long enough, and then they're going to drop off. You're not going to get the early spenders, which then means that the whales and krakens at the very end of the game have to spend more money, which is the reason why we're starting to see those $100 offers. So just kind of let you know how the pyramid works. That's kind of what's happening right now. So, and for a lot of these events too, I think heavy spenders are getting pretty burnt out as well, and then they start to quit too. So it's just a thing. It's a ring around the rosy, a pocket full of rosy. That's kind of what's happening, right? All right, that kind of dives into something else that I wanted to talk about here. Resource increases. There needs to be a way to increase the resources in Marvel Strike Force. We talked about cores just now. I think that if I look at the arena payout right now, right? Let's look at the arena payout and look at rewards. They haven't updated these rewards in quite some time. You have to get to the top 50 in order to be able to get the 200 cores that you spend on your character farming every single day. And then if you spend on ISO campaign farms, they're just not enough. They need to up these rewards for cores to make it a little bit more impactful for players, in my personal opinion. This is one way that they could go, is improving the core allotment that players get on a day-by-day basis. Now, you can get cores from other ways, like your daily objectives. You can also get it from some of the milestones right in the game. So yes, I do understand that, but I think that there needs to be more for arena if you want to put emphasis on arena like they do with arena specific teams. Same thing with gold. I think as well that needs to be increased. We got an 8 million infusion a while ago, but they've also increased the character levels since then, right? So it was nice that you gave us the 8 million infusion back when you had a previous character level improvement, but I think it's been twice now that we've gotten 85 and a 90, and I think that they have not improved or maybe I'm misspeaking. Maybe they increased it at 85 and they haven't done it to 90, but there needs to be a gold infusion for that too, because players are spending a lot of gold now, especially with these back-to-back gold events, right? It's one thing to make these events like that, but it's another to not also give us increased resources so that players can actually reliably, be able to participate in those events. Training materials, I think, is an old sort of like, I just don't understand that bottleneck anymore. Training matches should not be a thing. There's already gold, there's already cores, there's already other things, gear. We should just get rid of training mats as being a requirement, or just make it, and then you can do it in one way. Get rid of training mats, or you could do it where you just increase the abundance and the allotment of training mats by a ton, so that players don't even have to think about it anymore. And there's a lot of things that they do too, like backwards progression. You start doing one raid and then you lose the resources that you were getting from a previous raid. Things like that has to stop as well, in my opinion. And also orange gear, there should be an abundance of that going out too. Yeah, not just the Armory 14 or Armory 50 orbs that you screwed up. No, there needs to be more catalysts. There needs to be more origin gear for orange gear as well, in my opinion, because endgame players are running out of that stuff when they also have to then chase down 16s and 17s. Doesn't really make sense to me. And it also trickles down to earlier players too, because they're having the same issue with purple gear. All right, that's it. Next thing for me here is beginner players. I talked about beginner players a little bit here so far. I think the beginner experience needs to improve, in my personal opinion. From what I see right now, what I get from earlier players is that it literally takes them, it's like a year and a half to 2 years if you're like free to play to be able to get to end game. And you may think that that's fine as an end game player, but once again, because that is the case, beginner players are starting to play this game and then they're quitting because they're not able to get to any sort of reliable progression fast enough, which then means that you're losing early whales, you're losing early krakens, you're losing early dolphins, which then means that all the pressure goes back on the end game players and also those whales and krakens at the end game as well. So therefore, now that's when you're starting to see the $100 offers. We'll talk about that a little bit later. If you don't realize that that's what's happening, then you should, because that's what a result of the beginner experience not being good enough. There needs to be catch-up mechanics. There's no real catch-up mechanics for players. Like I said, 1.5 years to 2 years to be able to get to end game. It's just not realistic for any game to be able to survive and sustain that way. And you're starting to see it now. The numbers are dipping, guys. We're seeing the leaderboards with these Scourge events. The numbers are going down, and that's the reason why you're not retaining enough beginner players, and then you're losing end game players as well, and mid game players too. So therefore, things are just not great. So you need to find a way to improve the beginner experience, get players more shards, more character shards early. I would say this too, like all the legendary characters that are not horseman characters should probably be permanent now. Yes, that includes Omega Red. Yes, I said it. That includes Adam Warlock. Those legendary characters now should be permanent legendaries. So that, and then also shift down those characters that players need to farm to earlier nodes too, like Captain America Sam. Take him out of the Doom campaign. Shift them down so that earlier players can gain access to character shards like that a little bit quicker, so that they can actually get some meaningful progression, meaningful characters that they can use a little bit faster and quicker, in my opinion. And double shards for older characters too. That would be a good way to do it. I can go on a rabbit hole on a whole video, but because I'm talking about top 5, I'm trying to do this as quickly as possible. Some other little like additional things that I could talk about here too are offers. Like the offers in the game are absolutely terrible. I mean, I don't know who they're expecting to buy these things, or maybe they're players who are buying them. That's the reason why they think it's okay. But 5 million gold for this, like, I don't know what you're thinking, but the character offers are crazy. You've priced out Dolphins. Dolphins can't even spend money on this game anymore. I barely spend money on this game anymore. I bought one character this month, which was Agent Venom, because he's Bay. But I've skipped a lot of characters recently because usually I like to buy the secondary $20 offers as opposed to the $50 offers. I can't keep up with the $100, $50 offers anymore, man. I can't do it. I can't do it. The $20 offers, they've devalued those because those used to give you 5 orbs. Now it's only giving you 3 orbs. So it makes no sense to even buy those offers anymore. You've priced out Dolphins and all your marketing tools, your whales and krakens. And what happens when your whales and krakens don't want to spend any more money anymore, right? What happens? Then you raise prices, because that's literally all they think about doing is just raise prices. But if you actually improved on the system, then players would probably feel better about spending. There's some quality of life stuff too. I want an orb slider. Give me an orb slider. I think that's one of the big things that I would like here. But my brain is getting fried, so I'm gonna stop now. But what are your thoughts, guys? What would you like to see improved here in Marvel Strike Force? Some changes that you would like to see them make here. I went through things very quickly because I feel like if I had stayed on a subject too long, I might have raged. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just stop it here and let's see what your thoughts are. Add it in the comments, guys. If you want me to expand upon any of these in a future video, I can literally probably make a video about one of these things individually by itself. So let me know, guys. But listen, I appreciate you watching the video. If you like to see content like this, usually we make other stuff like, you know, beginner videos. We do roster reviews. We do a lot of different stuff here on the channel. Hit that like button. Also subscribe to the channel here if you haven't done so already. Hit the notification bell so that you know when the videos do go live. Check out the links that are down below in the description where you can follow me there on social media. There's Instagram, there's Twitter, my Discord too. Join my Discord there as well, guys. And also my other YouTube channel link is down below too, where I do talk about comics. It's called the Keeping It Comic channel. So we talk about Marvel, DC Comics, anime as well, all those TV shows and movies, right? So listen, appreciate you guys watching the video. Until next time, I'll be blessed. I'll be safe.